There was one tournament, it was like our first collegiate tournament, where we had been beating all the low-end teams, and then the first really good team that we ever played was against UTD. It was like a Ram Cast May or Hanzo May era. But the first like really good team we played was UTD, and we lost to them. And we're like, man, wait, we can actually, like, it was close, but like, man, we actually want to beat them. So it kind of like set a fire in all of us. And that was like, I don't know, that was the time I was grinding the most, learning the most, and it was actually just so fun to like scrim and get better at the game. And then we actually, in that same tournament, ended up beating UTD in the playoffs, so it was like actually so like rewarding.
Nice.
I think that was like probably my favorite time. Also, it was like, I had just joined this team, I'd been becoming like good friends with all the ASU guys, so it was just a pretty chill time.
Yeah, and like, collegiate is such a fun experience, and I mean, like, I was not fortunate enough to be on my own collegiate team. That's why I'm a caster. I mean, I'm quoted in a not a magazine, but the newspaper for saying, "Oh God, I suck."
Oh no.
Yeah, front page as well.
Oh no.
But like through all those tournaments, there you ran into a ton of incredible talent and incredible players. Like you said, you already played with a couple incredible players on your own team there. Who do you think has necessarily been like across collegiate and even now like some of the best players that you've potentially played with and against?
Played with, I'd say, like, although I make fun of Angelic a lot because he's just like, he's been playing around for a while. We just call him old man and stuff. I think he's for sure probably one of the best players I've ever played with. He's just like super knowledgeable at the game, always tries, really good teammate, and it's just like super chill all around. And then playing against, I think it was when I was on ASU, when we were making OWCS, like, making out of groups consistently. Like, there was a good amount of times we would play against TSM and those teams and just like Nightmare back when they were like, it was the first like form of OWCS. So I would say that was definitely the best competition I was ever playing against. And it was really fun. Even if like we were losing, it was really fun playing against them and just learning. Also, we are getting, these guys actually want this quick play game a lot more than like, this is insane.
This is not going, this is not going
yeah.
good because I told you, the interview ends when the map ends.
Dude, they want it so bad.
Yeah, so season 9 of FACEIT just started right now. You're on Grimoire. Former Amplify, now on Grimoire. What are you guys' expectations for this season coming up?
I mean, I feel like for any competition and as a competitor, if you're not going in to win, you're not really like, you're doing yourself a disservice. So obviously we want to win. That's our thing. But personally, I really want to get out of 4th to 6th range, and I want to get top 1, 2, or 3 minimum. I really want to get that.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys had a huge upset last year against the #1 overall seed in the first round. Me and Hunter covered that one. That one was a fun one to watch.
That was a fun game.
But right now with Cat Bastion was the thing that really broke you guys through there. With it slowly fading away and Xion coming in, especially with you being a DPS player, have you been learning Xion? Have you been kind of letting your other DPS players on your team kind of focus in on our newest hero?
I actually think Xion is such a good character for me personally, because I feel like the aim feels a lot like Cast. So like, and me being, I don't know, a disgusting Cast 1 trick, I feel like I love that hero and I love the M1, it feels so good. So I actually love playing the hero, but we actually, both me and Zach have both been playing him. We're just kind of, I think we're both, our mindset right now is just both get good at it, so that like whatever, if any comp like determines a double flex or it's just hit scan Xion, so that we both are able to play it, so that like we can just be as flexible as possible.
Nice.
But yeah, I think the character is so fun, so.
Yeah, no, like that, I'll agree with you. Xion's fun and like maybe a little strong in some places, but it feels like in other places like balanced, which is a weird thing to say.
And I think with just like new season or new balance patch and things like that, over time people will figure out what's better and stuff. So we've just been trying stuff out.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. I mean, you guys win a lot. You guys have lost some. What type of player are you after, let's say, a loss or a win? Like, are you the one who's kind of trying to cheer everyone up, or are you kind of sitting there trying to maybe just take it all in or listen to your coach talk?
A little bit of both. I think I'm definitely more of like during a win, I'm more hype, obviously. I feel like everyone will be more hype after a win. After a hype, I'm like going to congratulate all my teammates and making sure we're all doing great, like, you know, bring the vibes up. During a loss, I would say I usually have a pretty good mental, so I usually try to like be like a middleman. Like, obviously I'll try to make it so it's like, alright, like obviously we lost, but like there's things we could do better, we can improve on. Don't be like too down on ourselves, or like try to point out something we didn't do too bad. But yeah, usually in the middle. But like I also will do like, yeah, we fucking lost. Like we're also sorry, I didn't know if we could cuss or not. So
No, you're good. You're good. This is all about learning more about you. So if you like, and cussing's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
I probably accidentally cussed through this already.
But yeah, I don't want to like dismiss like the loss. I'm still definitely going to be a little rough about it. I mean, losing always sucks, but if you like dwell on it too long, obviously you're just not going to be able to learn anything from it. You'll just like every loss you need to learn something from, and if you're just dwelling on it too much, you won't really be able to.
Yeah. Let me ask you, as like you said, the dirty one trick cast you are, who are some of your like biggest inspirations when it comes to how you like kind of maybe molded your play style or learn, like, is there anyone you kind of molded your play style after?
Yeah, I definitely got shit on by Chopper way too many times when I was first started playing, and I was like, wow, this guy's Thanos. So I would say Chopper is for sure one of the first skins that I actually started watching a lot of. That guy's too good.
No, I will agree with you there. Chopper is an incredible player. Crap, this is the part where I have to come up with questions randomly. So you coming into this one here, before we got started, you said, why are we picking Rialto? Like, what, in your opinion, what are some overrated maps and maybe some underrated maps?
Overrated? I mean, I feel like this isn't really a hot take. A lot of people say this. I think King's Row is so boring sometimes.
Yes.
Like, I feel that map is solved. Like, if your team knows how to play it, you win. If your team doesn't know how to play it, it's just GG. Like, it's just been in the map it's been in the game for 6 years, or for 10 years. You just need to know how to play the map. If your team doesn't, yeah, GG. Underrated? I should have ate that, by the way. But
Nope, you're good.
underrated? I actually like. I feel like Atlas is like 50-50. I actually like Atlas a lot. I think besides, like, the first one can be a little annoying, but the rest of the map I think is really good.
Oh, I think, honestly, the Flashpoint maps are some of the best maps in the game. And
maybe another underrated? I think Esperanza is so fun. A lot of people don't like Push, but I think Esperanza is actually so good.
No, it is. It is. Like, and I'll say this, as a caster, I'm right there with you with King's Row. I'm so tired of seeing it every series. Like, I understand. Yeah. Like you said there, if you can't win it, why pick it? But everyone picks it because it's been in the game since the start.
Yeah, and then it's always just like, not that like you can't play other comps, but like most people just play Brawl on it, and it's like, I want to play other comps, bro.
Well, we've done a good job of holding on here.
Yeah, we dialed in.
Yeah, team locked in. Yep.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. One last question here, and then we will get going, and I'll let you go. So, where am I going with this? I don't know. Who's your favorite teammate right now? Who's your favorite teammate on your team?
I would say, I mean, I love Ewan. I love all of them because, like, obviously it's been like 2-3 seasons together now. I think for the teammate that surprised me the most and actually, like, I've enjoyed playing with the most, I think would be Gap. Going into Amplify and the core, I always knew Gap and Ewan were always chill, always pretty good players. But I honestly just didn't know, like, how much they try and how much they want and how good of a teammate they actually are. And Gap has, like, really showed me, like, he's made me want to get better at the game just because of how good of a teammate he is.
Awesome. J-Man, thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for coming on, man. Again, first time doing this. Awesome to have you on. I'll make sure to give all the shout outs in the pro scene here, where your Twitter, your Twitch, and we'll make sure where they can all find you. Again, thank you so much, J-Man, and thank you everyone so much for watching. Make sure you tune in next time for another episode of One More Round. All right, welcome everyone to the first episode of One More Round, the show where I ask people if they want to play one round of Overwatch. Well, I ask them a round of questions. My first guest is J-Man, DPS player from Grimoire. J-Man, thank you so much for joining me, man. This is, honestly, I'm going to say this. You have been one of my favorite players to watch ever since I started covering Face It.
Wow. I'm
so happy you are my first person to really do this.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah, it is really fun to have you here. But, like, I just want to generally talk about Overwatch here a little bit right now, and to get a lay of the land here with how long you've been playing it. When did you get into Overwatch here? Like, was it launch? Was it GOATS era? Was it pandemic era 2020, which I guess is GOATS era? Or was it sometime after that?
Well, I actually have been playing. I played Overwatch since launch. I remember I played it on my Xbox. I played the beta actually, and I was like, wow, this game looks like it's gonna be pretty chill. So I remember ever since launch, I've been playing it on console, and then I think it was 2020, like right before COVID. I actually ended up getting my first PC, and that's when I started playing it on PC.
Nice. So,
And then at least for competitive wise, I didn't really play until I started college.
nice. Nice. I mean, hey, I'm kind of with you right there. Started with the beta and kind of just casually played it for a very long time. Never got good like you did. But like when you started taking that first competitive step with Overwatch, like when, like you said, it was around college, but what was like that first thing to let you know, like, oh, I can actually, be really good at this game?
Well, I guess for like, it's a little bit more in depth than that. To start my like playing career, my high school, I was actually fortunate enough to where my high school had a esports team. So that was pretty chill. So the league we were in, like everyone was pretty bad, so it's not like it was really that competitive, but we were able to win it because we had a few like GM players, so it was like, we were just gonna win by default. But after that, I went to ASU because that was just my state school. And then I realized that they had an esports team. So I just ended up like, yeah, why not? I did at my high school, why not do it in college? And then, I don't know if you followed collegiate at all, but I was able to get 4 other teammates that had actually played the game competitively before. Like, I think the biggest names would have been Angelic and Anhu. But we started a team with them, and I was like, wow, okay, these guys actually have hands. I can't be the only player that sucks on this team. So then I started to grind a lot, and then at this time, Anhu was on Shigami. And then this is kind of how I started. Anhu was like, you should start playing in like open division, stuff like that, so you can get better. So Anhu told Aeroplane to get me on their like Shiki Acad team, which is Midori. So that's where I just started playing. And then ever since then, I've just loved it. Just enjoyed it competing.
Nice. What's honestly been like your favorite, since you started competing, what was your favorite kind of competition or favorite era of this?
Right now it's pretty chill because I think this is the best I've ever been. But I gotta say my favorite was honestly near the beginning. There was one tournament, it was like our first collegiate tournament, where we had been beating all the low-end teams, and then the first really good team that we ever played was against UTD. It was like a Ram Cass May or Hanzo May era. But the first like really good team we played was UTD, and we lost to them. And we're like, man, wait, we can actually, like, it was close, but like, man, we actually want to beat them. So it kind of like set a fire in all of us. And that was like, I don't know, that was the time where I was grinding the most, learning the most, and it was actually just so fun to like scrim and get better at the game. And then we actually, in that same tournament, ended up beating UTD in the playoffs, so it was like actually so like rewarding.
Nice.
I think that was like probably my favorite time. Also, it was like, I had just joined this team, I'd been becoming like good friends with all the ASU guys, so it was just a pretty chill time.
Yeah, and like, collegiate is such a fun experience, and I mean, like, I was not fortunate enough to be on my own collegiate team. That's why I'm a caster. I mean, I'm quoted in not a magazine, but the newspaper for saying, "Oh God, I suck."
Oh no.
Yeah, front page as well.
Oh no.
But like through all those tournaments, there you ran into a ton of incredible talent and incredible players. Like you said, you already played with a couple incredible players on your own team there. Who do you think has necessarily been like across collegiate and even now like some of the best players that you've potentially played with and against?
Played with, I'd say, like, although I make fun of Angelic a lot because he's just like, he's been playing around for a while. We just call him old man and stuff. I think he's for sure probably one of the best players I've ever played with. He's just like super knowledgeable at the game, always tries, really good teammate, and it's just like super chill all around. And then playing against, I think it was when I was on ASU, when we were making OWCS, like, making it out of groups consistently. Like, there was a good amount of times we would play against TSM and those teams and just like Nightmare back when they were like, it was the first like form of OWCS. So I would say that was definitely the best competition I was ever playing against. and it was really fun. Even if like we were losing, it was really fun playing against them and just learning. Also, we are getting these guys actually want this quick play game a lot more than like this is insane.
This is not
they
going.
Want it bad.
This is not going good because I told you the interview ends when the map ends.
Dude, they want it so bad.
Yeah. So season 9 of FaZe just started right now. You're on Grimoire, former Amplify, now on Grimoire. What are you guys' expectations for this season coming up?
I mean, I feel like for any competition and as a competitor, if you're not going in to win, you're not really like, you're doing yourself a disservice. So obviously we want to win. That's our thing. But personally, I really want to get out of 4th to 6th range, and I want to get top 1, 2, or 3 minimum. I really want to get that.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys had a huge upset last year against the #1 overall seed in the first round. Me and Hunter covered that one. That one was a fun one to watch.
That was a fun game.
But right now with Cat Bash Cat Bash was the thing that really broke you guys through there. With it slowly fading away and Xion coming in, especially with you being a DPS player, have you been learning Xion? Have you been kind of letting your other DPS players on your team kind of focus in on our newest hero?
I actually think Xion is such a good character for me personally, because I feel like the aim feels a lot like casts. So like, and me being, I don't know, I'm a disgusting cast one trick. I feel like I love that hero and I love the M1, it feels so good. So I actually love playing the hero, but we actually, both me and Zach have both been playing him. We're just kind of, I think we're both, our mindset right now is just both get good at it, so that like whatever, if any comp like determines a double flex or it's just hit scan Xion, so that we both are able to play it, so that like we can just be as flexible as possible.
Nice.
But yeah, I think the character is so fun, so.
Yeah, no, like that, I'll agree with you. Xion's fun and like maybe a little strong in some places, but it feels like in other places like balanced, which is a weird thing to say.
And I think with just like new season or new balanced patch and things like that, over time people will figure out what's better and stuff. So we've just been trying stuff out.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. I mean, you guys win a lot. You guys have lost some. What type of player are you after, let's say, a loss or a win? Like, are you the one who's kind of trying to cheer everyone up, or are you kind of sitting there trying to maybe just take it all in or listen to your coach talk?
A little bit of both. I think I'm definitely more of like during a win, I'm more hype. Obviously, I feel like everyone will be more hype after a win. After a hype, I'm like gonna congratulate all my teammates and making sure we're all doing great. Like, you know, bring the vibes up. During a loss, I would say I usually have a pretty good mental, so I usually try to like be like a middleman. Like, obviously I'll try to make it so it's like, alright, like obviously we lost, but like there's things we could do better, we can improve on. Don't be like too down on ourselves, or like try to point out something we didn't do too bad. But yeah, usually in the middle. But like I also will do like, yeah, we fucking lost. Like also sorry, I didn't know if we could cuss or not. So
no, you're good. You're good. This is all about learning more about you. So if you and cussing's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
I probably accidentally cussed through this already.
But yeah, I don't want to like dismiss like the loss. I'm still definitely going to be a little rough about it. I mean, losing always sucks, but if you like dwell on it too long, obviously you're just not going to be able to learn anything from it. You'll just like every loss you need to learn something from, and if you're just dwelling on it too much, you won't really be able to.
Yeah. Let me ask you, as like you said, the dirty one trick cast you are, who are some of your like biggest inspirations when it comes to how you like kind of maybe molded your playstyle or learn, like, is there anyone you kind of molded your playstyle after? Yeah,
I definitely got shit on by Chopper way too many times when I was first started playing, and I was like, wow, this guy's Thanos. So I would say Chopper is for sure one of the first skins that I actually started watching a lot of. That guy's too good.
No, I will agree with you there. Chopper is an incredible player. Crap, this is the part where I have to come up with questions randomly. So you coming into this one here, before we got started, you said, why are we picking Rialto? Like, what, in your opinion, what are some overrated maps and maybe some underrated maps?
Overrated? I mean, I feel like this isn't really a hot take. A lot of people say this. I think King's Row is so boring sometimes.
Yes.
Like, I feel like map is solved. Like, if your team knows how to play it, you win. If your team doesn't know how to play it, it's just GG. Like, it's just been in the map it's been in the game for 6 years, or for 10 years. You just need to know how to play the map. If your team doesn't, yeah, GG. Underrated? I should have ate that, by the way. But
nope, you're good.
Underrated? I actually like. I feel like Atlas is like 50-50. I actually like Atlas a lot. I think besides like the first one can be a little annoying, but the rest of the map I think is really good.
Oh, I think honestly the Flashpoint maps are some of the best maps in the game. And
Maybe another underrated? I think Esperanza is so fun. A lot of people don't like Bush, but
Everybody, welcome and thank you once more for joining us for some more Copa America action. It's been a long couple of weekends, but we are down to 2 teams. Dexatron, it's Team USA taking on Team Colombia here in the grand finals. USA, they're hoping to run it back-to-back years, and for Colombia, it's the first time in the final of the Copa Americana, and they're hoping after a very convincing win yesterday to finish things up here.
Yeah, especially against a team in Costa Rica that you look at it, did not drop a single series, and then throughout the entire group stage got that bye. I think a lot of people may have already had Costa Rica chalked in, or at least, chalked in to the grand finals, probably to face this United States team, even with Canada getting the bye as well. And Hunter, another thing, both teams had a byes yesterday, lost, so they're not here anymore. It's just an interesting thing to point out. But right now, I think the 2 things that you really want to look at with these teams is just the rosters for both of them here. Incredible talent across both of them. USA has really brought out some of the best talent in Face It League here. And same thing could be said for Colombia. I mean, we know about Super Gomez and Temp. They are on the actual World Cup team, as we kind of highlighted a couple times here. That's going to Busan in a little bit. But everyone else that has played here for the Mixfy, Kratos, I'm trying to remember who else it was. I believe we saw New 7 and New 7. They have looked great every time that we have seen them. They're only really hiccups that me and you have seen from them so far, since we did not cover them last week during group stage, was the 2 maps they dropped to Peru. And even in those maps, it was still relatively close.
Yeah, it genuinely was. That was a real big back and forth. Peru was in a really good position to win that game near the very end, but Colombia, they clutch up. They do some really good things. And like you said, they run through Costa Rica and take that 3-0. USA struggling a little bit more in their game against Canada. It's a volley between the 2 of them, but USA do come out in 3-1 fashion. And now we're here, and we kind of went at it a little bit before we went live, Dex, but this is one of those games that has the potential to be quick, and it's going to come down to something that I've brought over the last couple of days and I think has meant a lot, especially yesterday. It's the opening momentum and giving yourself a lot to work with right out the rip.
Yeah, we've highlighted and just hammered that fact home so much throughout this weekend here, that momentum is a very important thing here with these teams. Again, these teams are not normally, or players, wow, I cannot speak. The players on these teams are not on the same team for the most part in Face It League. This is the first time that they're really coming together here, or the second time realistically, because last week was really the first. But you also have the question, how much time have they put in this? How much time have they scrimmed? Because again, you still have Face It stuff going on here. So the momentum early on is something that gives you so much in the later parts of the map and of the series here. Another thing though, Hunter, that we kind of have to point out here, you do see it on the scoreboard below us. This is a 1st to 4 this time around. We're playing best of 7s. We are in grand finals.
Yep, very traditionally so. So there's a little bit more time for these teams to adjust, but Colombia, I think they're just hoping to replicate that same success of yesterday and try to run through USA as quick as possible. Try to give them the least amount of time to be able to fight back, because this team, USA, I think the one thing they have prided themselves on throughout this whole tournament is being able to kind of face some types of adversity, because you think of a Team USA in a tournament like this, you think, okay, they're going to perform very well. No, they struggled. They might have been, in terms of the teams that got to the top 4, maybe the one that struggled the most, honestly, with everything they had to go through. But they made it here. They won those really big, important games. And now that they're in this position, it's, I think, a scenario of them needing to lock in and find some more of that success that they showed earlier against a Team Mexico that they 3-0'd, being able to fight back against Canada, winning that in 3-1. It's just the aspect of having to take on a Colombia that, for all intents and purposes, after watching them yesterday, feel like white hot fire right now.
Yeah, and Hunter, another thing you have to say about this Colombia team is they might have been a team that should not have been here. Boholt's score was the only reason they got in the last spot right now. But man, ever since then, they have looked like one of the stronger teams here. And yes, we talk about the 2 maps they dropped to Peru, almost a reverse sweep happening there, but they locked in for that 5th and final map. And then yesterday, I mean, it was still close with them and Costa Rica, but Costa Rica never was able to really get over the hump. Colombia was able to kind of find ways to get past them every time. And that's what you really want to see here. However, there's the other big question mark that's hovering over, I think, both these teams' heads right now, Hunter, or at least our heads right now, Hunter, is who's actually here tonight for these two teams. 7 p.m., a little bit earlier than last night and a lot earlier than on what it was on Friday at 9. And you have to kind of wonder, are there scrims going on right now? Sunday, you have a game tomorrow if you're playing in Face League, as most teams do, even though some teams have probably rescheduled their Monday games away. There are games tomorrow. This might be a scrim night for them. And who is going to be committed to this here tonight? We will figure that out here a little bit later. But the countdown has gotten started here. Team USA going to be picking our first map of the night.
And we'll see whatever it is they opt to go with. And to be fair, there's some. Okay, hey. Yeah, we know what's going to be pushed, and obviously we have Coliseo, Esperanza, Runasabi available. And guess what? I decided to put this thing into Microsoft Edge, and it works fine this time. So that's going to be our useful tool for today. Never thought I'd be using it, but here we are. But we'll have to wait and see what Team USA go with. And it feels like, I mean, I don't think we've had like the pure popular pick, like Runasapi, Esperanza. They both come out a fair amount. I guess you could argue it's Runasapi though.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen a lot. We saw a lot of Esperanza yesterday. We saw Runasapi a little bit on Friday in our one series that actually, I believe, made it to the push map, which I think was slotted in as that fourth map on Friday, where we did see Runasapi come out there. But right now, I mean, you're still looking at what are we going to see. Coliseo would be a very interesting one to pick here just because, well, we haven't seen it yet, at least in this phase of the Copa America right now. Maybe we saw it a little bit last week in the group stages, but I mean, if you play Coliseo, I think kind of leaning more towards a little bit brawly. Esperanza and Runasapi are kind of more open, while Brawl's still very strong. Sigma still finds a lot of value on those maps. You could play a dive if you want.
You definitely could. That's the kind of flexibility you get from a map type like this. So you kind of have to go and expect it. There's a lot of things you can throw at the wall. When it comes to Runasapi, I think it's a little bit more bare bones. There's definitely a lot of things you could try. I feel like this is the one push map where we have the Cat Bash be brought out in a way that can find a lot of success. I know he found some success in it yesterday with Esperanza. Actually, I think it was back on Friday, actually, where it eventually found some value, but it was really hard to get it going. Runasapi, I think, is the best push map for it. One of the best maps in general, maybe, for it right now. So we'll have to see as Team USA are about to run out of time here. We'll see what selection they end up going with, and it's looking like
Esperanza
it is going to be, Esperanza.
Yeah, again, not the biggest surprise. Like we've been saying, it seems like Esperanza has been at least a favorite of the teams that have been playing over these last couple days. Right now, only seeing Runasapi once, I believe, so far this weekend. But again, this opens up a lot of options here right now. You can play dive, you can play brawl, you can play poke, you can play cat bastion. We saw it yesterday from, I believe, from actually Colombia. They got off to a very, very strong start there, and Costa Rica, I don't think, really had a good response to it for the longest time. And eventually, you did see the swap off of it. Costa Rica, though, I think it was a little bit too late for them at that point.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately. And there's a lot of times where we see swaps, and it's like, it's a good swap. Would have been a lot better about 3 minutes ago. And that's something that happens. To be fair, sometimes the scenario of like, hey, we need to swap, but you're like 90% to a cage fight, or you're about to have barrage, and it's like, it's an ultimate. It's hard to simply discard it, but it feels like we've seen those hero plays in the past of, man, they just gave up a whole ultimate, but that swap ends up making the bigger long-term difference, because you can lose another fight and sacrifice that to be able to set up for something a bit later. But we'll simply have to see, as we're just waiting for more selections to come through, as, again, teams have a lot of time, and they're going to use that time to make sure they have everybody there ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, you're seeing this... Sorry. We're at least seeing this time bank run down here. I don't know if you have it up on stream, Hunter.
Sure do.
Okay, so yeah, you're seeing it run down here. About a minute 15 left to go for the U.S. to kind of pick which side's going to be attacking first. And again, like you said, either they're using this time here to try to make sure they have the right players in, or someone might just not be ready at the moment for Team USA. But the map selection did come in before the time bank or the time clock ran out last time around. So Team USA, I think this is at this point, it's a strategic thing. Just let this run down. I believe it's probably benefiting both teams here, honestly, because again, like I said, biggest question mark hanging over both these, or at least hanging over mine and your head here, Hunter, is who is actually available tonight for these two squads?
Well, I could give you the answer for one, but much like the other nights, I'm gonna spare the details and just say there is enough people there, just enough for that matter. But to be fair, it's a lot of the usual customers that you've been seeing throughout the entirety of the weekend, so don't expect anything too different from what we have seen throughout the quarter and semi-finals for Team USA. For Colombia, I could not begin to tell you, but I think it's worth noting for everything we've seen from them in the past and compared to yesterday as well. I think having players like Kratos-san, like Temp there, and Super Gomez is going to make that pretty big difference because, at least to my knowledge, they weren't super present for a lot of the games during the group stage, and we saw the difference it makes for that squad yesterday. Now, it should be prefaced in saying, whether they were there or not, this Team Colombia still got through, they still won the games and had the bullhold score to qualify. They got in here, and they've proven why I think they deserve to get in here in the first place.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and they've looked like they've been a really good team throughout this entire run right now. Both these teams actually lost the same amount of maps so far here, both only losing 2 to get this point here in the playoffs. Team USA, they're going to be attacking first. They also still get first ban here, and that's the interesting thing here, Hunter. Do we see the ban come out on the tank line, that support line and the DPS line? I feel like we've seen a lot of teams actually gravitating towards support bans first and then a DPS ban in our first maps. Tanks have normally been left untouched because I feel like we're seeing a lot of these teams want to try to figure out like what's the other team necessarily wanting to play, and then they'll work around it from there. However, a map like this, like I said, dive, brawl, poke, rush, anything is really viable here. So it's kind of difficult to really ban out a tank unless you unless you went back and watched these two teams play yesterday, or you watched the other team's respective game yesterday here, and were able to learn a little bit about them.
Yeah, definitely so. So we'll have to wait and see what the picks are actually going to be, because obviously these teams have tape on them, especially considering that these are the two teams that have played back-to-back days. They should know what each other generally like to pull out, and considering the lineups probably aren't going to be much different than what they were yesterday and the day before, you know what realistically to expect and what to get rid of. Plus, there are just characters that are getting banned pretty frequently and being played pretty frequently. You think of things like the Xion, the Mizuki, Lucio, Mauga, Ramatra, things of that sort have been banned pretty consistently, and I imagine we're going to stay pretty consistent with this first map as well.
Yeah, and Juno could be our first ban out here from Team USA, and not the biggest surprise, honestly. I mean, you look back at what Colombia was doing a lot yesterday. They were normally preferring the Juno over a Lucio for the most part. Orbital Rays came in very big with them. They like to play that Mauga. They can play a lot of other stuff though here. So the Juno being banned out here, maybe a ban you would like to have a little bit later, especially for a flash. Maybe make for a flashpoint map. I think the Juno would have been a little bit better of a ban on, but still, you have a good option here, getting rid of the Juno on a map where she can use those jump boots to kind of get away from danger pretty easily.
Yeah, definitely can. One of those supports that feels like it's really hard to hunt down sometimes, and that can be bothersome. I think that's why Xion's finding a lot of value right now, a character that can simply, hey, if she wants to get out, she's gone, deuces. You're probably not going to catch her if she decides she wants to be gone. But we'll have to see what the ban on the other side of the equation is going to be. We'll see just shortly what that's going to be from Team Colombia, as these lineups will get settled here pretty soon. But, I mean, I'll kind of double down on that point of how important this first map really feels, because you and I seem to have this belief that this could be quick if that momentum does carry through. Both teams very much have proved they can carry momentum, that they can get things done quickly if that opportunity is given to them. So, I mean, I would love for this game to go long. This feels like a game that'd be incredible to see go for 6 or potentially 7 maps, but will it? Why are you shaking your head? It's a legitimate question, my friend.
I just think about what you said.
You're stuck in the past. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, like it would be great, and it would be great to see this series go long. However, I think both me and you kind of expect to see, like the momentum being a really quick thing for both these squads, and it's gonna be interesting to see that right now. However, it does look like, honestly, both teams kind of down players that were here yesterday for them. Colombia, you have new 7 Mixfeet and Bobby Wasabi, Kratos and Super Gomez, so you don't have Tempin. You also don't have, you just don't have Tempin right now. Team USA, though, Amity, Boop, Fern, Zach, and Narukato are in for them. I think that's a big difference from yesterday, where we were seeing a lot of, I think we were seeing Social for the most part. And crap, I'm forgetting their name. I think it's Stella.
Yeah, Stella was playing a little bit too, but Boop's also played a little bit throughout the weekend as well. Had a couple of maps back in the quarterfinals on Friday, so we'll see pretty shortly here. As we're just waiting for one more player to connect and get in here. As for Temp's situation, I honestly don't know. I'll check Face It, because I believe there's only one actual game going on today, and I don't think it's Temp's game, but I am just curious in general what it is. I'll throw that out right there. Right now, it's Team Missing and Ilya Artemis, so yeah, no Temp to be found there.
Yeah, but like I said, even though there's that one game going on in Face It, this is still probably a scrim night for a lot of them. You have a game tomorrow. You had your off day yesterday to enjoy it. That's why they were here. So it's going to be really interesting. Super Gomez here, though, I think is a big boon for Team Columbia. Them playing the tank, they've looked great on it throughout the entire night yesterday. And I mean, Mixfee has looked great as well. Bobby Wasabi, though, coming in to play that support is going to be really interesting here. I believe we saw him a little bit on Friday. However, with Temp in there yesterday, it wasn't like there was that much of a big difference, but still, it was a little difference that could really be a big spark for Columbia.
Yeah, definitively so. And it's that spark that I think you're going to see very early on from one of these teams, because even if you have certain people that are not in the mix, same point I made yesterday, everybody who's on these rosters is here because they can slot in and they can be an amazing asset to any starting 5 combination that can come through. I mean, Bobby Wasabi is someone who we haven't really seen a whole lot this weekend, but I think is still going to be able to slot in very well. But you still have very consistent people on both sides that have been playing throughout the entirety of the week. And you think of Nadakato, who I think is one of the only players to have played in every single map thus far for Team USA. I think there's a couple others, but that's a whole conversation maybe? We'll have. Zach has played at least a majority, but we'll have to see. Next, that second ban, by the way, we never discussed it, but it is the Wrecking Ball. Crazy.
Yeah, and no, I mean, I think it's a good ban. I think it's a good ban. Honestly, you saw what Team USA was doing on the Wrecking Ball all day yesterday, and it was just finding them so much value. Amity was just being a problem. It opened up so many doors for them against Canada. Yeah, Canada was able to shut it down once or in one map, but still, it was a big problem. And right now, again, we talk about just momentum. You want to find that momentum early. There's no better momentum than winning the first map, Hunter. And I think getting rid of the ball here, while you're going to have to deal with the rest of the series, you at least have that first map win under your belts here if you do win it.
Yeah, we made that argument yesterday about sometimes it is better to use that big ban out the rip just to set yourself in a better position to get opening momentum. But as we see on the scene right now, Double Malga currently being displayed. Not any differences between these squads, really. The only difference is New 7 over on the Cassidy and Nadakato, who has been prolific throughout the whole weekend, currently on the SOD. So here we go. We're ready to get started with the grand finals of the Copa Americana of 2026.
Malga going to be the tank choice for both teams here. And outside of that, the only main difference between these two teams is Nadakato and Super Gomez. The two hit scans right now going to be playing much different heroes. Nadakato on that Soj, like we talked about, has been great all weekend on it. Super Gomez, though, has been showing us an incredible Xion here.
Yeah, and Zach is the one right out the rip, getting rid of 3 to get this one started. Support's looking like they're going to be able to try to get out of here alive as Kratos-san is trying, but Mixfee the only one to get out here successfully. But even with that fight win, they have not pushed the bot yet.
Hey, I mean, all 5 members went up. They did the right thing, wanted to win a team fight. However, you just probably gave up about 10, 15 meters essentially for free here. And this is going to allow Columbia to come back in here very quickly right now. USA, though, off to the start they're looking for, but you need to really find one more pick here. Amity and Nadakato getting a little pressured out here at the moment. Going to fall back now to safety, but Nadakato going to be hit by a bike.
Yep, and Bobby Wasabi going to go in, and now Amity is going to be struggling here in a second. No longer has the cardiac overdrive. Meanwhile, Bobby Wasabi will have it, but still, the fight is being forced into the open right now. Amity pushed into a corner. They need to try to burn Amity away. Big Sun comes through. Cleanse, though, is perfectly well timed from Fern, who is going to have the Katsuni Rush. Will get their head taken off, though, by New 7, who has silently been such an impressive tour de force throughout the entire weekend. But Zach is going to shut that down on the spot. Satsuriku's free is going to win them the fight and more than likely going to secure the forward spawns, too.
Yeah, and I mean, it came at the cost 2 ultimates right there, but if you're Team USA, again, we're going to harp on it a lot throughout this night. Momentum has been a big thing here. And I mean, Hunter, we normally talk about momentum in other series, especially in Face-It, especially earlier on this year in a lot of the other World Cup activities that we covered. but it seems like it's a little bit different now, especially with Mauga being the most played tank here. Momentum is a big thing with Mauga. The better you're doing, it seems like the more momentum your team has. So you want to be able to keep that going up here. So Amity, very important to this team, but you look at what the ultimates coming up here for Team USA beat Cage and Overclock. You're in a really good spot right now to try to maybe even get rid of all 3 of these ultimates and trade out even more from the other side.
Yep. I like everybody kind of going over towards the corner instead. It's a little safer to play if you are Amity and co. In fact, they're going to pull up to the other side of the bridge. Zach, though, doesn't quite get the memo. Will be caught out. Cage Fight comes in. Is going to catch on to multiple. Sound Bear going to be used. Boop has immediately encountered response, and unfortunately, Bobby Wasabi is burnt down, and while Super Gomez is trying to clutch this one around, it's going to take more than one to do it. They're trying to get Boop. Eventually, they will, but I think the damage is already done.
But look at this here. That was exactly the fight you were looking for if you're Team USA. You used 2 ultimates, you got out 4. I mean, you got everything you're looking for there, and you didn't technically lose the fight. You're still pushing the car right now. A huge misplay early on here from Team Colombia, and now Bobby Wasabi has to run for their life.
And we'll get stomped down for their troubles, unfortunately. So Team USA, well on the move, and we're going to approach that 100-meter mark. And you have a cage fight, but a considered rush, the second one from Fern already, as Super Gomez gets the better of Zach.
And USA not pushing the bot here yet again. But still, Bobby Wasabi has his cage online. Looks like they're getting set up to use it, but they need to find the one target here, and now you have a little bit of an advantage with Narukato falling. You need to now take this advantage. You need to win a team fight here pretty handily, because that bot is in a spot right now where if you get a team kill, you might be able to reset spawns, and everyone for Colombia will back up, but Colombia just disengage. I mean, USA just completely disengaging here.
Yeah, now they could set up. I don't think they could stop the forward spawns from being taken away, but you're not too concerned about that. You can get it back if you win the fight anyway. Consider Rush will not get caught off by the cage fight. In fact, the cage fight is just eliminated on the spot, and with Super Gomez gone, Zach is going to have a field day on display here momentarily. Everyone is going to slowly but surely fall over as Bobby Wasabi may be the lone survivor, as they're going to run as the forward spawns will be activated once more.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Colombia, you're on the board. That's really the only positive you can take away from that fight right there. You're on the board. You won't get shut out here. But again, it seems like Team USA has this perfect idea of what they're doing here. And remember, Hunter, we've been seeing Super Gomez play tank throughout a lot of this tournament. They're on the DPS line here. Hadn't clocked that yet.
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting decision right now. We'll see what it ends up meaning right now as it's the combination. Zach Bree doesn't get a whole lot, and unfortunately can't really use it on anybody or anything. So that's 2 ultimates that don't find any value. Now it's down to New 7 to try to find a little bit of their own. Sound barrier used perfectly to catch New 7 out. And it's Colombia falling over once more. Team USA putting themselves in prime position. Narukato going down. Not the greatest of things, especially as Kratos Sun is trying to get out with their support duo, but they're in a rough spot right now.
Now, Narukato falling, though, is the least concern here for Team USA. They're going to be able to get back pretty quickly here, and I mean, just how much attention Amity's taking here, it's going to allow Narukato to get back, but that consumer's coming out here early from Kratos Sun is going to force Team USA to fall back, but I mean, you already lose mid-speed.
Yeah, now Sooner Rush try to push on forward. They want to try to end this thing right here and now. Amity stunned out from the backside is using their cardiac overdrive to hang around in there, but Super Gomez got rid of one, hoping to find another. Doesn't get anything with the spree, though, but I feel like they put themselves in good territory. The question is, do they have to invest more in this fight to reasonably win it? As cage fight used, and Amity just says, nah, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, just runs right out the door right there, and this looks like it's finally going to be a moment here for Team USA that they have to reset, but the cage coming out from Amity. Zach going to be able to find one. Amity should not live this.
Shouldn't. Is for a while, as, man, that should not have had to happen.
That's just, it's almost soul-crushing right there. Like, that takes away, it affects your mentals right there if you're Colombia, but you have to bounce back here. There's still 4 minutes on the time back, Hunter, and we have seen some leads evaporate in less than 2 here. So Colombia's still in this map, but they need to win that fight. They need to get something to go their way.
Yep, sound barrier perfectly thrown by Mixfeek, and will sustain as Amity is getting slowly chipped away as going to try to get out alive. Won't be able to pull it off, though, as Lucio battle on the side will be interrupted by Fern, who's trying to help out. Unfortunately, the numbers game no longer in Team USA's favor, but all they have to do is just, you know, keep taking this fight, eventually die on the point if they have to, and everybody's going to get forward spawns. And to be fair, if you're Team USA, you've got to be feeling amazing right now, but you cannot let your foot off the gas.
You cannot. And Colombia's been a team that we've seen get hot and just stay hot in the past couple of days here. You cannot really allow them here to win this next fight here, because you look at the ultimates they have coming up, Hunter. They're going to be in a good spot ultimate-wise. Granted, yeah, you're going to have the same number of ultimates here coming up for Team USA very quickly as well, but you need to be able to kind of just pump the brakes here on Colombia here for Team USA. Like I said, pedal to the metal might be how the United States needs to go here, but they need to be able to still play smart.
Oh, it's full pedal to the metal, by the way. They doubled down on Zach, who is just going to corner New7 with a little bit of help, and the rest of the squad not going to fare a whole lot better. Super Gomez has been great this whole map so far. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's going to be enough. You get rid of one if you're Super Gomez. You need to find a bit more than this one. It's the second one of the fight, but Fern taken down as well. That's the third for Super Gomez. Boop! Gets plenty of care right now, is eventually going to get some health back. That's going to be 4 for Super Gomez.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not going to be able to pick up the 5th right here. It's Amity just running away, but still, if you can find these plane-out picks here now for Colombia, you're in such a good spot. Amity, again, this is a moment right here. Amity should die, but Amity just lives yet again here. That's been one big problem. They've really struggled to kill Amity, as Amity only died one time this map, Hunter. 26 elims to their name already.
Yep, and now this is your one chance to finally get something, but you need to win this fight so desperately, and I mean, you have a sound barrier to work with as well. It might have to be used in response here. It's thrown down later, as you're going to see the cage fight be taken away, thrown back directly there, as, again, Colombia is going to be falling on over. Super Gomez not even getting their one this time. It's the full wipe, as USA is going to truck forward once more, and forward spawns going to be reclaimed.
I mean, 131-meter lead right now for them, 130 on the clock. It's difficult right now for Colombia to even find just a way back into this one here. USA playing a little bit aggressively here, but I mean, with how Amity's been playing this Malga so far here tonight, Hunter, you have to imagine they're going to be able to get out and be right back into full health by the time there's another engagement here. However, it does look like that Zach able to barely escape right there, and now the overclock out here from Natter.
Yep, I'm going to find a little something. Again, so successful throughout the entirety of the weekend. Is not going to find a whole lot, but still the numbers game in their squad's favor. Bobby Wasabi gone early means you lose out on your biggest tool to be able to sustain in these fights, and the sound barrier is just going to be used to bulldoze the rest of them down, claim the point with a couple minutes still on the clock. So for Team USA, it's as good of a start as you could have hoped for.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it here. Both me and you said, like, hey, this could be a short series here tonight. This could be a short night for these two teams, because while Team USA was probably the one that you could realistically put that on, like saying, yeah, they have the talent here, and the roster say this could be short. Colombia really impressed me, and even Hunter, while we were having that conversation, I said, no, I think could be Colombia that comes in and 4-0s this. But Team USA, they came out with a different mindset, different mentality, it really looks like there, and it worked out for them incredibly well there in our first map. Second map, though, of the night will be controlled. Busan, Lijiang, and Samoa are the options here for Team Colombia to make their first map selection of the night.
Yeah, and you brought it up before really quick, just touching on the scoreboard. Amity 30-1, 16,000 damage. That's incredible to look at. But no, you said it right there. Control going to be the next point over here. And I question how much you're going to opt to change it up right here, because you could take it over to something like Busan and kind of go away from the Malga a little bit. You could also just opt to go to Lijiang and get rid of the Malga as well for something like Ramatra instead. But I don't know if that completely solves the issue that they were having in that first map.
No, it doesn't. And before I go away from the stats here, Super Gomez is the only player on the side of Colombia to even get double-digit kills, 18 for them. You even talked about that for a brief moment where it seemed like Super Gomez was doing a lot for Colombia. And yeah, the stats do definitely show that they were doing as much as they possibly could there. Not saying that everyone else for Colombia wasn't doing anything. It seemed like Super Gomez was finding those picks there for them. Colombia, I think they really truly only won about one fight throughout that entire map. It's unfortunate for them. And now, I mean, it's going to be difficult. I weirdly think Samoa might be the play here if you're Colombia.
Yeah.
Mostly just because you banned out the ball last map. You know Amity can play ball. I think Busan and Lijiang Tower play really well into a Wrecking Ball, while Samoa, yeah, you have that downtown map where the Wrecking Ball finds a lot of value, but Beach and Volcano, I think it's a little bit harder to make the Wrecking Ball work there, so that might be the best option for you. But still, we just saw Amity play an incredible Malga.
Yeah, an incredible Malga. And you know that ball can find a lot of efficiency as well, but it's the question of whether or not it's going to get forced out. And the way that gets forced out, honestly, is by taking the Malga away, and it still has to represent the right map for that to happen. So even if you go Lijiang, you get rid of the Malga, that ball could come out on something like Gardens, for an example. But if it's Busan or Samoa, I think the options open up a lot more than previously. So it's a fine line that I think Colombia is going to be crossing here. And as we're still waiting for it to count down, we'll see what they want to go with. But if I am them in this position right here, I potentially go down the route of seeing what a brawl looks like without Malga and taking it to Lijiang. But that's if you decide the Malga ban should be pulled here.
It's going to be interesting because I think both teams really want to play the Malga. We saw it there throughout the entirety of that last map. However, do you see Sigma come in here? Well, I guess the bigger question you have to ask here is, what is Bobby Wasabi? What is their hero pool here? Because again, we've been seeing Super Gomez for the majority of this weekend play that tank. However, they want to get rid of the Soj going into Lijiang Tower here, Hunter.
So, honestly, I don't mind it. Matakato doing a lot of big damage. It's something that you can just take away. That's not too inconsequential. It's going to force Matakato onto something else, potentially like the Tracer, especially with it being Lijiang Tower, has a lot of viability on a map like this. So I think that's the transition that Matakato is going to make. We'll see what the counter response is going to be, though, with Team USA, where a lot of it was a double-edged sword. Remember, it was a mirror for the majority of the time outside of that one DPS slot. And even if so, you'd be banning out New 7's Cassidy, which in the situation, can't even do that.
You also have to remember the Juno's going to be back in play here. This time around, Team USA banned out map 1, and we talked about it. The Juno's been something that's really helped Colombia in a lot of instances here when they've been playing Malga. Not something we've seen from a lot of other teams here. I believe we've seen sprinkles of it here and there throughout the other 4 games we've seen this weekend in Copa America, but still, there's options right now. Support would be interesting again here. You could get rid of the Malga. I'm not the Malga. I mean the Mizuki here, just to try to really hone in the Malga pick here, make it a little bit stronger. While Lucio's were being played by both sides last time, I still think Mizuki might be a little bit better paired with a Malga going up against another Malga.
Yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment that I think Colombia will have to make here, because I think they've shown they can win a lot of the Malga 1v1s, but it's an interesting decision because we brought it up before, I'll bring it up again, with Bobby Wasabi being in Super Gomez, who is very much usually playing that tank, was on the tank through the entire match yesterday where they beat Costa Rica in that 3-0. It could be a scenario of they only have another tank player that's sitting by, and the only option they really have is to bring Bobby Wasabi in for tank and have Super Gomez do the flex. And it's not a reflection bad on either one of them. It's just not what they've been practicing and scrimming.
Yeah, Malga, though, actually going to be the second ban coming out here from Team USA, so they want to go away from the Samoan wall of meat there, heading into our second map, and wow, immediately going in as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see what we see here. Do we see Ramatra? Do we see Orisa? Do we see something like a Hazard? Maybe something like a Wrecking Ball. Again, I think you're really kind of leaning into the Wrecking Ball right now. If you're Team USA, Amity has shown us a great Wrecking Ball yesterday. I would expect to see it here again right now. And Hunter, going back to that flexibility thing here, and a lot of the Colombian members being flexible, you have to remember, Temp, I think we know Temp most as a DPS player. They were playing support yesterday.
And it was an interesting scenario there as well. But honestly, the funny part is, it worked really well. That's the honestly funny part of that whole thing. But we're here now. Lineups looking like they're staying the same here, as Boop probably doesn't play the cat. But to be fair, the fact that Nakato's on cast, it'd be so funny, Boop. Will you do it?
I think they'll rather grab Amity than Nakato's here.
Are we getting pigs flying? When pigs fly, we're getting when pigs fly. Oh my god.
You look at the other side, though. I mean, you have Mixfy on this Mizuki. Like I said, I thought it would be a little bit better of a support here if you were still playing with Malgas on both sides. Malga being banned out here. But yeah, pigs are flying, and Amity at least letting everyone on Colombia know that they are flying around here. Boop, though, going to pick them right back up. Hook, though, going to be denied by the shield.
Yep, and then you have to play carefully, probably go to the white room, and Amity could still be dragged over. So we'll have to see if that's something they end up doing. You see, Amity was potentially looking for it, but it's really smart they make this transition over on the side. But it's a perfect hook, and New 7 is gone. Amity may get hooked down, but not going to make the big difference right now. As you see the current 4v4 action, Bobby Wasabi still sitting at full health. has an accretion with, hey, the Roadhog's name on it, hopefully, as you will nail it, but still plenty of health coming through for Amity, who can just sit here and take it.
Yeah, I mean, they can hit the rebreather now that you have Booth back in. There's a lot more healing that can come out here from Team USA. Bobby Wasabi, though, needs to play safe. I believe that shield's gone. You immediately see him just back off the point because of it. There's a lot of pressure gone when that shield's down here. But Mixby finding Zach out again. If you're Team Columbia, you just need to get rid of Amity. That's the only reason you haven't capped this point just yet.
Yeah, and you're eventually going to do it, but to be fair, while you lose that fight and hope to get the final pick onto Fern, who is going to try to get out, barely does, but because of how much damage went out there, ultimates are going to be ready in mass already.
Yeah, but here's one thing. If you're Columbia, you needed that. You desperately needed that. That last map, I think we said maybe only one team fight went their way. Now they got the lead. Deadeye, though, coming out here from Nauticato as it's a Fly Noon Hunter, and they're going to be able to get rid of Super Gomez. However, I think this composition for Columbia could still definitely play down one, especially with the Sanctuary on point.
Yeah, Emily gonna get stunned by the accretion, still hanging around as with that gone. Again, really well-timed shields thus far from Bobby Wasabi is now gonna be thrown into the corner, is trying to go through, is just gonna get obliterated though. Nothing you can do about that. Separation is gonna be coming through as you're trying to do what you can. If you're Super Gomez, Freeze is gonna come out. Amity gets pulled out of the freeze by Boop. He'll fall down, but the problem is you don't have the backup to win this fight.
No, you don't. And I think right now for Amity, once you kind of die on this hog, I think you might be making the swap. I think this was necessarily a one life kind of thing here as New 7 now in a dangerous spot, not going to be hooked off the map, but still will be hooked to their death here. Columbia, though, holding on, has the flux here. That's the only ultimate online right now, Hunter. And it could be a big difference maker this fight.
Definitely could if you can find the right situation. With Kratos Sun down, you're not going to find that right here. They're going to be able to clear everybody out. This is going to end up being at a favorite number, 69%, as Super Gomez off the edge.
Yeah, and I mean, this the worst fear for Columbia here is this competition for Team USA. I think it's a little bit more built to kind of be this defensive kind of wall one year. Here, you don't have a shield to play with, but Amity on the hog again can just absorb bullets, hit the rebreather, get healed right back up. And Zach, a lot of good poke damage coming out from this Pharah. It's gonna be very difficult for anyone on the side of Columbia to really shut them down here, especially with Amity taking realistically most of the attention.
Oh yeah, a ton of the attention. Now, you have to play it so carefully. Bobby Wasabi has to have these ready at the correct time as Boop is taken care of, and Amity, not on the right side of the map, I will say, as everyone else is simply going to push in because no one can stop anything. Zach, though, thinks otherwise, gets rid of two, and even though there's Kekai Sanctuary, Amity is about to have the whole hog as well. Doesn't get the hook, though, so... Actually, no, Bobby Wasabi does not get anything out of it either way. They're going to get pushed off the point, and unfortunately for Team Columbia, nothing you can do here.
Yeah, nothing you can do. Mixfeed in kind of a bad spot, needs to kind of regroup right now with their team. Not going to be able to as Amity finds them. And if you're Columbia, you're going to have to give the lead here, but you need a full regroup. I don't think you need to make any swaps just yet. I think you're still in a good spot with that. You have that spree and the Blizzard coming online, but look at the other side. Deadeye, Kitsune Rush, Catnap here, and Boop. Looks like they're trying to get Nauticato set up for the Fly Noon, but Super Gomez and I believe New 7 are doing a really good job of just keeping them in check whenever Boop is carrying someone in the open.
Yeah, Amity is getting body blocked, getting stunned out, getting frozen. Doesn't matter how Fly Noon's in there, and no one can go anywhere right now, so this is just going to stall things out, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but now they're going to be able to go to this point with 3 ultimates under their belt.
Yeah, look at how much time that's stalled out there, Hunter. This is final fight territory here. Columbia does not find a fight win, but you're going to lose Super Gomez early. That was a key ultimate that you lose right there. Amity, though, gets frozen, but Suzu saves him.
Bobby Wasabi goes down. It's overtime, and Kratos Sun not going to get taken away by the Catnap, but it might not matter a whole lot as Zach gets rid of another one. First round going to go their way. It's a lot of back and forth. Give credit. And unfortunate for Super Gomez to not being able to get that spree out there on the final fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, they got knocked off the map there, and a really good play coming out there from Team USA to get rid of them. They had to know that ultimate was about to be online, then they really collapsed in on them. Huge Suzu as well there from Fern to unfreeze Amity, because that could have been something that they get frozen, they are taken out of that fight, and it's probably a much different looking fight there for Team USA and Team Columbia. But now coming over here to Night Market, what differences do you see here between the teams? Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. The Wrecking Ball coming out here from Amity, Nauticato showing us the soldier here, Hunter. And again, maybe it was like 2-3 months ago, we started to see Soldier be sprinkled here and there. It's still kind of that same thing, but they're definitely more of an option now than what they were 2-3 months ago. Never mind. Forget everything I just said. It's the M-Ray. But Bobby Wasabi, I like this. I do really like this Orisa coming out from them, and it does actually work well into the ball. You're going to be able to spear spin that ball away. If you can land the javelin on them, it will stop them dead in their tracks, and you still have Mixfeed who can tether them down there, which has to be a big part of their playstyle. However, when you're already down 1, Hunter, there's not much to your playstyle you can really do.
Yeah, it was a massive FNA to the back line. I mean, New 7 just kind of blew up on the spot alongside Super Gomez. Nothing you could really do about that, especially even though... oh, never mind. Okay. The Cat Bastion is back out in the playing field.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it here. Amity definitely sees the Cat Bastion here. They're just tethered to this wall right now, and they're definitely looking around the corners. So they're giving all the intel right now to the rest of their Team USA squad that the Cat Bastion is on the table, but Super Gomez gets dropped!
Oh, Super Gomez needs to be brought back up to life. Eventually will, but Kratos-san, I mean, Super Gomez, again, it ends up being dropped down. Is going to, I think, join the Cavalry back front and center stage, but you have to eventually put pressure on point because that's your best win con of forcing Amity inside, making Zach play inside as well. This is how you win these fights against Team USA, and to be fair, they're here. They're starting to win it. They lose New 7 while getting the flip, but the moment they press that point, Zach is going to barrage, and I think Zach is just going to think about doing it anyway, but just doesn't even need it.
No, they don't. However, they might need to get rid of Bobby Wasabi here as they're the last remaining member for Colombia on the point right now, and you can tell they're just trying to stall it out as long as they can, but when it's a 5v1, it doesn't matter how much health you have or what tank you are, you're not winning that. Right there. Team USA quickly retakes the point, and yeah, it came at the cost of the nano, but look at what Team USA still has here. They have the barrage, they have the minefields, they have the override protocol, and because of some of those late swaps coming out, or some of those swaps coming in here for Colombia, you have the catnap, you have the data, the continuing rush, but Bobby Wasabi, slow to build up this terror surge, but hey, New 7 finds one before firing themselves out as well.
Yeah, it's a really good pick overall to kind of make up for the fact that Zach was gone because you can't do, you know, the flying unit anymore. Flip does come through, though. They're not able to recontest in time, so Amity is going to have nades ready to go as Super Gomez taken out means I don't think this point's going to last much longer than this. Bobby Wasabi would have to consider maybe going into this fight as Kratos-san takes Zach off the edge. Unfortunately, I don't think it's enough to pull this one out as you see whoop for one as Amity takes care of the other.
And New 7 now going to try to run away as fast as they can. However, the ball is faster.
I mean,
especially with Lucio there.
What do you do about that, honestly?
Kind of just look up at the sky and say, wow, it really is nice before you get pile drove into the ground. But again, there's really nothing you can do there. Fly Noon, though, is available, but you still see Super Gomez being carried around by Kratos on here. And if you're Team USA, you understand this Cat Bastion is going to be flying around the outside of the map, but you need to be able to punish Colombia for that, especially with where they are right now. Look at it. Both New 7 and Mixfeed in a bad spot, but New 7 actually finds that.
Yeah, has had a really good map so far. Is going to get rid of another right there with Nadokado as Fern going to have to be forced down. Amity, the last one to touch, just going to reset with those nades intact, but Mixfeed, nice kunai to end that one right there as now, looks like Team Colombia is giving themselves a shot here.
They're giving themselves a shot and they need it here. And granted, Ultimate's online for both sides here, about to have 4 for Team USA, but Team Colombia, they have 3 of their own, 3 really good ones. And honestly, do you combo anything here with Bobby Wasabi's Terror Surge? Do you throw the artillery in there? Do you just wait for it? It's going to be the override protocol coming out from Nadokado early, and the nano, and the mine. Everything from Team USA, Hunter.
Yeah, there's no hesitation here to try to win this game right here. It's a good spear on the Nadokado. Unfortunately, it's likely to be too little too late as they're going to be reliant here on Kratos to forcibly get a touch here. In fact, the only one who can is going to get the first touch. Can't touch again, though, and unfortunately, there's just nobody fast enough. It's going to be 2-0, not only on the map, but 2-0 now in the series in USA's favor.
Yeah, and Team USA, I mean, again, they are playing what they want to play. The Wrecking Ball ban on map 1. Like I said, if you were Colombia, you're looking to grab the momentum there and never really look back from it. They didn't grab the momentum, and now Amity has this Wrecking Ball, which they have shown us they are a problem on throughout the entire weekend, Hunter, and now it's available the rest of the night here. And that might only be 2 maps at this point, unless Team Colombia has something to say about it, but if you're Colombia, that was a better map. It was a better map. You have to say that for them, but still, you're struggling here. A lot of those caps on that second point were mostly just back caps at first, but that really opened up a lot of space there. New 7, you talk about how good of a map they had there. Most of their picks realistically came after that back cap happened, and Team USA said, hey, we kind of need to let the 1 or 2 members of Team Colombia that are still by their spawn just be by the spawn. We need to go back and fight on the point, and New 7 really did punish Team USA when that happened, but still, there wasn't the follow-up there from the rest of Colombia to shut down Team USA.
Yeah, unfortunately, there wasn't. So now, if you're Colombia, you're already in a tough spot right now. You're down 2-0 in this series. You're trying to find ways to fight back into this, but there's not being a lot of ways that are being presented towards you because Team USA is willing to pull out a bunch of different stuff to make this happen. But things are moving very quickly right now, Dex, because we already know they're going to take us over to King's Row, and the Mizuki is going to be banned out by them.
And you have to remember, we didn't see Mizuki at all from Team USA. We actually saw it from Colombia, there, that map. And it did give them a little bit of options, especially when Amity was playing that Hog. They got off it very quickly, though, once they realized the Hog was gone. It was back over to the Wrecking Ball. However, I feel like that's a little bit of a misstep by them. Keep the Mizuki there. You're going to be able to tether Amity, maybe try to punish them. But they made the swap, and I can't argue with them. They were able to still get stuff after that, so it worked out for them in the end, just not completely. But now, Team USA was very quick on a ban there as well. And you have to remember, they banned out the Juno, and they banned out the Mauga here. I honestly might see him going after a Mei on King's Row.
Honestly, why not? Make it just be a consistent threat overall. It's something you just don't want to have to deal with if you don't have to. Again, it's not a situation of, hey, we've seen it a ton, we've seen it a little bit, but it's just one of the things that you don't want to see and be pulled out here, because I don't know if there's anything I want to ban that I could still ban that has been represented heavily by Team Colombia to this point. So we'll see. But Dex, are you correct, or?
It's the Bastion. They don't want to see the Cat Bastion.
Yeah, that adds up right there. Oh boy.
And honestly, like, if Team USA wins this map, it doesn't matter where we go next. You could just also ban out the Cat there just to make sure you don't see it. Because so far, Colombia has not really had a good response to anything that Team USA has thrown or that Colombia hasn't had a good response to anything Team USA has done here. I mean, they've been able to find fight wins. They've been able to improve as the series has gone on. Granted, it's only been 2 maps, but this is a map that you need to put together here, Hunter, because while Colombia stopped the reverse sweep in the first round of these playoffs, they probably do not want to be the ones trying to reverse sweep in the grand finals.
No, it'd be an incredible story, but you got to reach some low lows to be able to get to the highs in the first place. But we'll have to see as you are doing some moving and eyeing. Yeah, because we'll go ahead and bring it on over. But you see Azer is coming in, and Social also as well. Yeah,
Boop, and I believe the other player is Zach coming out here right now. Again, very interesting, especially with how good Team USA has been playing. I thought they were just kind of running with that 5 throughout the night. But Social, we talked about, was not available or was not in those first 2 maps. Was basically in all the maps we saw him play so far throughout the weekend. They're here. Azer, though, I believe this is the first time me and you are seeing them here, Hunter.
For the Copa, yeah. Definitely the first time. Not the first time I've seen them play, 100%, but definitely first time seeing them in the tournament. Coming here for DPS, gonna play the Tracer here on this one. At least they're gonna start out in that area. And I feel like they're expecting Super Gomez to be out on the Zarya, quite frankly, because for Super Gomez, that is their comfort tank from everything we've seen from this player.
Yeah, I mean, it was either going to be the Zarya or the Mauga, I honestly think at this point. And a 50-50 chance, I think you're willing to take it. Kratos-san going over to the Venture, though, I like this pick. I really do. Just the dash alone, the drill dash, can actually stop Amity from rolling through your team and give you an option to just try to slow them down. And I think right now you're looking for anything to try to slow down this ball.
Yeah, literally anything. And to be fair, it's going to be hard because you were basically trying to track specific individuals down. You think of like Fern would be your main one to track down, as New 7 isn't able to get back inside. Natakata with a really good finish as well, and that's going to be a quick fight done and over with. And now you question if New 7 stays on this far already, I think.
Yeah. I think you do. Nope. Over to the Cassidy instead, but look, Natakata is just kind of watching the doors. New 7 now off the cast, over to the Freya themselves, trying to get that trade. Kratos is going to actually come in and help them, but look at all the attention that the other 3 members of Team Colombia are kind of pulling away here from Team USA.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to right now. Super Gomez is getting really low, though. Amity has to go grab the Mega Health Pack. Play a little carefully, as I like seeing New 7 over on the Freya, but as I say that, does get taken out as we see the big backcourt through both of these squads. Amity doing everything they can to survive. Mixed Feet gets rid of 2. This is the start you needed if you're Team Colombia, because while Amity definitely has some stall ability, doesn't have as much help coming through. It's just Natakata and Social that are back right now, as I think you may start to have to consider giving this up if you don't get this online. And as a matter of fact, they've lost all their numbers.
Yeah, they're gonna have to give this first point. And again, if you're Colombia, fast start, but they had a fast start last map before it slowly started to fall apart right there for them as Team USA was able to make a couple good picks or get a couple good picks to go their way, and then just looked like a completely different beast here. But still, Amity on this Wrecking Ball is going to be a problem. You already see him getting set up by the card to stall it out, but you lose Fern early on here if the United States, realistically, if you're the US, you need a regroup.
You do need a big breakthrough because this is something that could very much go out of your control. We talk about momentum, everything it can do. You're going into a fight where you're going to have a grab be thrown in your face, and while you have a lot of ultimates, the question is how much are you willing to sacrifice to do it? As Amity going to be able to go in, is going to look for a stun here, doesn't get one as Bobby Wasabi still goes down regardless, and with a little help from the pulse bomb, they're going to be able to start clearing out house right here, but it's an excellent bubble to keep New 7 alive, at least momentarily.
Yeah, and now, I mean, you have the Freyas going at each other up in this high ground. It's going to be Social actually helping in New 7 take care of them. And this is I think, a fear here for Colombia. This comp for Team USA is so oppressive at times. They can just kind of play at the spawn doors, and you would have to use ultimates to get out. I think that's what Team USA is realistically looking for here, as they know all 5 ultimates are ready. There's the grab. There's the bulls out from both sides as well.
Yeah, I think they got it, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think they might have won the fight, like instantaneously. Poor Fern,
they missed a spot
all
somewhere.
alone. Fern is
They
gonna
missed
hide.
a spot somewhere. Fern.
Do they know? Do they know Fern's up there?
I don't think they know.
I do not. Oh, that's gonna be
I
a
don't think they
dangerous
know.
thing to not know.
It really is, because, I mean, if Fern trusts themselves here, they could try to go maybe get back to stall the card. Then now, though, out on the Amity as Fern makes himself known to the world yet again.
Yeah, it might work out too. You're entering 2 ultimates as Kratos Sun's gonna go on the rush. Does not get that though, as almost jumps into all the mines, clears a bunch of them out instead, and now it's the back and forth. Azer is down early though, and now Amity has to try to move in, find a little something. Only is really succeeding at stalling this card out for a while, which, to be fair, is great, especially when Nakata wins the Freya fight, as you're looking for Team USA to find a foothold here somewhere. They're trying their darndest to.
They're trying their darndest, but still, Amity on this ball is just a little bit too much of a problem here. Katuna is coming out from Mixby, but again, it's just going to be a quick disengagement here from Team USA, but you're really not even progressing the card that far here if you're Colombia. And that's what's so hard about the second point push, Hunter, is that essentially every corner of this push is a choke.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. It makes things awkward. Bobby Wasabi does go down, so this style, they're trying to make it work, but again, you lose performance like that so early on. It makes it really difficult to come back. Without your support, Super Gomez, unfortunately, not going to be able to do anything here. Going to lose out on all that delicious charge here momentarily. Doesn't even get the one, as they're going to be booped away for their trouble, taken care of. Now there's 2 minutes on the clock, and you're feeling slightly barren in ultimates right now.
You're going to have grab, you're going to have boulder shot coming up. You used those 2 last time you had them available if you're Colombia, but look at the other side. I mean, the Tidal Blast already out there, but you lose Social early on. However, the Tidal Blast does stun too, and you do get a trade. Awkward, but you'll take it.
Yeah, New 7 almost gets hunted down. In fact, does end up falling on over. Again, these are the picks that have been so brutal for Team Colombia so far, and we talked about them having a really good start before and things not ending very well. We're back in that same situation, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's just not good here for Team Colombia. You need to kind of... Ooh, Bobby Wasabi almost gets taken out there. Huge anti coming in there from Fern. Does have to force out one of those bubbles from Super Gomez pretty early on there. But again, still 4 ultimates online here for Team USA. You're in a good spot right now to be able to stall this out into one more fight as the mines spread across the street right now.
Yeah, it's just going to kind of do a bit of stalling mechanism. That's like 4 boosts for Amity right there, who unfortunately doesn't have any care. If I'm the rest of Team USA, I am on the run. I'm getting that out of there as fast as I possibly can.
Well, their speed's a little bit slower than you would expect, but the bullet shot lands right on the Kratos, and Kratos is going to be able to find the pick or the trade. But again, Hunter, it's just trades going back and forth here. Super Gomez, though, being in that tank, still alive, can get to the cart, but Amity back into the fray.
Yeah, and now the fact they managed to stall this out, get a couple of picks to trade out, you're in final fight territory, you have grab ready to go, and now you might have to think about using this the next time Amity comes in just to get rid of the tank, but they're hanging about, currently in a 4v5, someone's got to keep contesting the point, that's likely going to have to be Super Gomez.
Nano invested onto Azer here early on. Mixby, though, responds with their Kitsune Rush right now, Hunter. I mean, Colombia's looking for something, anything here, but Tectonic Shock gets slept.
Oh, yeah, that's a little rough right there. Now it's just 2 remaining with the Natakado and Social right here as they're likely not long for this world. Natakado especially, who's trying to float away, won't be able to do so with Amity not even out of the spawn yet. Looks like they're going to be handing this second one over.
And I mean, if you're Team Columbia, you got it. You got that second point. You're now able to kind of push as far as you can here. Maybe complete this map. That'd be huge for them here because at least gives you an overtime condition and a huge win condition as well. But look at the swaps coming out here. Acer off the Tracer over to this far instead. New 7 immediately with a good swap as well over to the cast. Acer, though, this is going to be a big problem here for New 7. If they do not land those shots, there's going to be so much poke damage coming in.
Yep, Stun doesn't get anybody either from Amity, but still, it's a really big pick from Natakado. Once more, Kratos' son as Nade not connecting, but the damage, I was going to say, may have been done already, but Social down means you lose a lot of your sustainability.
A lot of it, the mine's now out as well. Natakado going to be able to find New 7. If you're Columbia, you just kind of back up, take the reset here. You got the ultimates out you wanted, and Social making the swap over to the Mercy for a late Pharmacy here?
Interesting, and it's a really late one. Let's be real about that, but to be fair, New 7's the one that can really take care of it. Like, Acer can kind of hang back and keep getting all this poke damage and gets rid of Mixby as well, so puts them in critical condition because they need this Kitsune Rush online here as quick as possible.
Surprisingly, they're not damage boosting Acer. They're damage boosting Natakado. And I think that might be a little bit of a better thing here right now. Natakado's taking the angles right now, but Acer is taking all the attention.
And now here comes that Nano over onto Acer, who's already got rid of one. He's going to be able to find a second, loses out on their Mercy, but Super Gomez still hanging about so close to having this grab ready to go. Will indeed get it, and now they win the fight, at least for the time being, as Amity is going to be taken out. But now they used a lot, but they still have grab and beat. This is such a winnable fight for them.
It really is, especially with the other side here, only having the Bob potentially and the Mines potentially. Those are going to be stuff that needs to be built up, but if you grab early, those will not be built up here. Bob, though, looks like the Diamond does land from Natakado, so you have your stall right now if you're Team USA.
Yeah, and now Bob, you throw to the background. Acer down early, but you have a 5th proponent on the point currently, but New 7 is trying to take care of a lot of damage, but it's Bob who's putting in the overtime. And they can't even get back, Dex. And I feel like that was a touchable scenario.
It was. It was touchable. It's one of those moments again. We talk about momentum. You were finding it there if you were Columbia. Again, you're improving every round we've seen so far. Going back to the first map to this round right here, you got better as it went on. But one minor mistake. I mean, you have to be looking at I think it was Bobby Wasabi there. You have to be looking at them at least being able to get the touch. You got rid of the Mercy on the other side. They're already down one of their DPS players as well. You could afford to have your tank be touching that car right there and taking a little bit of damage. A little bit of damage.
Yeah, a little bit, but we'll see how the adjustments go by. At least on the defense, we're seeing some interesting changes coming through. The big one, maybe honestly the only one, is the fact that Natakado is hovering over the Reaper potentially, but I don't know if that sticks. But on the other side of things, no, it's just a lot of the same. Though it is interesting as well, Super Gomez, I don't know if I registered this in my head earlier, but Super Gomez is back on tank. I don't know if I remember this being the case before.
Here's the thing. We call it the entirety of last round there. And again, I think I said Bobby Wasabi on that tank needed to be the one that touched there. It was Super Gomez who was playing tank. And Super Gomez should have been the one going. I mean, hell, we even talked about Super Gomez playing Zarya. Like, we expected to either see the Malga or the Zarya, and it was the Zarya for them there. And now it's the Malga this time around on defense, but again, you're still going to have to deal with this ball. Acer on the Widow. They're going to be looking for that opening act right now, Hunter. They get the one shot off. It does hit. However, it hits on the Super Gomez, and they immediately make the swap over to the Genji right now. But still, I think it's going to be difficult here for Columbia to really shut down. But Kratos getting rid of Social early is a good start.
Yeah, proves it already, as you've already lost out a couple members due to Kratos Sun. Again, just doing Kratos Sun things as you're going to force everybody on back. And this is going to be next all about them making openings for themselves, which Super Gomez is not making easy.
No, and right now, I mean, you might be needing to look at another swap coming out here from Team USA, and it does look like Amity has decided, like, hey, the Wrecking Ball is not going to work in this composition. It's a little bit too much of a problem here. There's too much stuff on the other side to really slow down the Wrecking Ball, whether it be the Flashbang, the Drill Dash, the Suzu. It's just a little bit too much right now. It goes over to this Sigma instead, And I definitely like it in Super Gomez Malga here.
No, 110%. New 7 still on this Cassidy, has been impressive throughout the entirety of the day. Has had many headshots within this map so far. Almost finds another onto Social, but this is a long-winded fight already, and with us losing both supports already, Team USA looking to make this a relatively quick one right here. Is Natakaido close to falling over, burning, but no one can finish it up as eventually Team Colombia is gonna peter out.
And New 7 will find their one, but like you said, it kind of peters out there right there for Team Colombia. I think about the same time banks here, though, for both teams going into second point. So if you're Colombia, you can at least kind of rest your cap on that. You look over the other side, though. Super Gomez making the one swap here. I thought that Malgo was doing a good job, but I think they thought that maybe going into Street Space, the Malgo was going to lose a lot of its survivability, especially with it being such close quarters.
Yeah, and now you might have made a mistake trying to push up into this right now, because now you're going to blast. Super Gomez has no way of surviving, and now you find those late picks. Maybe Bobby Wasabi gets out. No, doesn't. Social picks up 3 at the end. And now all of the space is available to Team USA. They don't have to play archways. They do need to eventually put someone on the cart, which they have finally done.
It's the unfortunate thing, though, that's Azer
gosh.
that they put on card here, but I guess it doesn't matter when you're still finding picks. And look at how far Team USA is playing here, Hunter. I mean, second point isn't even capped yet, and they're already playing third.
Yeah, and they're finally going to get pushed back pretty hard here. Amity is just running out of care to work with right now. Big swing by New 7, who has the entire team ready, backing them up. So they're going to fall eventually, and to be fair, I don't know if they get their weight in gold for this push.
No, okay, Social. Okay, Social. Hey, everyone, remember to check your corners. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, check your corners. Okay, Nano Social, why not? Just go in. Oh, this is working. Oh my God.
Why is it working, is the question. Why is it working? Because it should not have, but it has. New 7, though, has found the second pick already, though. Needs to find a little more than that, but when Amity's sitting front and center, not a whole lot you can do.
If Colombia had not found a single pick in that entire engagement, I would have had a mental breakdown here live on stream, and I don't know if you would have been able to help me recover from it.
No, definitely not. That is not under my contract, but Azer, looking at them right now, as you have that blade ready to go, but it's a quick investment here from Colombia, as USA is just going to say, nah, we don't want to deal with that. We're going to wait.
Natakaido, though, is trying to run for their life here. However, not being chased. They could have been punished right there. Instead, they're going to be able to get out with their lives. But if you're Colombia, even with how bad this second point push has gone, second point hasn't been capped yet, but now you have to deal with the Tidal Blast and the Blade.
Yeah, and that's so many slices into New 7 who just doesn't go down. And it's the double exchange right there, but honestly, not too bad in the grand scheme of things, as Bobby Wasabi low somehow gets out alive. But if you're Team Colombia, you need big picks like that, and Super Gomez catches on to Amity. They're going to lose out on this one, as it's a big scenario for them to need to win, considering how much they invested in that long fight.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Colombia, you're so happy with that fight. You're really happy with that fight. It's been, like, the second point push has been such a weird couple of minutes right now. Weird 2 minutes, Hunter. Really weird 2 minutes. But look at Colombia. Grab, Deadeye, online, and Bobby Wasabi has been able to build to another beat here relatively quickly. And the other side, yeah, they're going to have Nano and a Flux here, but you're starting to see Super Gomez really take over this map right now, especially against Amity.
Yeah, you 100% are, and it's a good stage of momentum right now. You have two really good ultimates sitting by. You're quickly working up to that duo of support ultimates, too. And this Nano likely to be thrown on Acer here in a second, I would have to imagine. You need to find some value on it if you're Team USA, because right now you are on a linchpin you need to get yourself out of.
I mean, it worked when I threw it on Social last time, so why not do it again? But you're going to have to deal with the grab. That's going to be the biggest problem right now for them. Super Gomez, though, getting punished here a little bit. Needs a lot of health. Going to be able to get it, though. They are vitally important to this entire fight right here for Colombia Hunter. Super Gomez falls. This second point is all but Team USA's.
Yeah, unfortunately, you lose Fern, which is literally worst-case scenario. And if there's someone who's woken up big time in this map, it is Kratos, who's already got rid of 2, is going to help get rid of a 3rd. As Azer may get their 1, but I don't think it'll matter a whole lot.
It won't, and now 60 seconds left online here for Team USA. Granted, that fight maybe went as good as it possibly could go there for Team USA. In a loss, you're going to have a lot of ultimates, but same thing could easily be said for Team Colombia. Didn't use a single one of their ultimates, has 4 in their back pocket.
Wow.
Hunter, this is going to be a pretty heavy ult fight, because at this point right now, if you're Team USA and you lose a fight, you're not going to be able to get back. Grab, though, is out. You don't have the beat there to respond.
Yeah, Nano thrown onto Nadokado. The only one without an ultimate right now is they're going to force Bobby Wasabi into a corner. Amity is going to have to flux over onto one. It's a perfect source, though. Unfortunately, bubble perfectly timed. It might not matter, though. It's big advantage right now for Team USA, and without a beat, I don't think this is properly winnable.
It's not, but if you can find Kratos off this point, it would be huge for them right now. Nadokado, Azer, and Social.
Big beat.
Ultimate seem to be big for them. Bobby Wasabi's beat, though, in.
Yeah, and you're going to send everybody in right now. You have Sound Barrier ready to go. I should not say Sound Barrier, I should say the beat, but Super Gomez falls over. Worst case scenario, the touch comes through for the OT, and eventually they're going to fall on over. And this one is going to come down to the limit between USA and Colombia. And if you're Colombia, with the way things are going, it feels like it's everything on the line right now.
Yeah, time to put it together right now. We've been talking about how Colombia's gone better throughout this entire series. Every round, they look better. This is where they need to get over the hump right now, Hunter, because there's a big difference being down 2-1 than being down 3-0 in a best-of-7 right now for them. You have an ultimate online with that tectonic shock, but Azer can immediately come in with a pulse bomb and try to get rid of you pretty early on here.
Yeah, definitely love to see what ends up right now. Burn literally to health right now, eventually going to get some self-care, but Super Gomez is down. And now you have a nano radio. Or I should say, Kratos-san has to have the play of a lifetime coming up here. Is going to put in the tectonic shock. Needs to find both here, but Soulshiel's going to get nanoed. And now, if you're Kratos, there's nothing you can do in here. You're going to get forced out. Rushed upon getting out of the hole immediately. And now it's just a rush to get touches over on this point. Super Gomez needs to be able to get there. It's burning away, though. A touch will come through at the last second, but it's going to be too little, too late. Team USA already finds themselves on match point.
And it's one of those things that we hate to say, but again, me and you thought that this could be a 4-0 tonight. But still, Colombia, they've gotten better. They just haven't been able to complete the puzzle yet here, Hunter. They've been so close, but they're still missing that one middle piece that's the same color as 15 other pieces that you're holding on to, and none of them fit for some reason. But I mean, again, Colombia wanting to go fast here, going to bring us to Circuit Royale this time for our potential final map of the series. And I don't know what you ban out here. I really don't. I mean, you could get rid of Sigma, but you haven't really seen that. Actually, no, you did see it from Team USA there. I mean, it's going to be difficult because there's so much stuff that Team USA has showed us that Colombia also likes to play. It's going to be I don't know who Colombia goes after.
I don't know much of what you do in a scenario like this. It's rough. You've used some really good bans already. And to be fair, it's Circuit Royale. It feels like this is the map we see Iari get banned out the most. And it makes sense. Circuit Royale is one of the only maps where she has like a ton of feasibility if your name isn't Shu. You know, this is just what you're going to see. What do you do on the other side here, realistically, though? Venture? Do you get rid of that one tool?
No, that was... Team USA was fine. Maybe you get rid of it. Yeah, maybe you get rid of it here. But was it that big of a difference maker? That's gonna be the biggest thing there. And I think it really was. However, what's stopping you from just banning out something like the Malga here? I believe we saw the Malga be banned out last map by Colombia, if I remember correct. No, I don't remember who was banned out last.
Team USA banned out the Malga at some point. It was Team USA who did it. I believe it was for Lijiang Tower. They banned it out.
The Zarya ban coming in.
Okay. Honestly, not a bad one either, quite honestly. I don't mind it. But now, this is what you got. It's everything on the table for Team Colombia, and it's not going to be easy by any means, but if they're going to do it, it's got to happen now. And to be fair, from everything we've seen, it might have to be something a little bit different, too.
Do you go unorthodox? Do you show us double hit scan? I mean, we've seen double hit scan already one time this week on this map, Hunter. We saw both teams come out with Hanzos, and guess what we saw? New 7 play towards the end of that last map there. Not able to build up to the Dragons, but they played Hanzo for a little bit. So already kind of telling us that we might see that. Kratos-san, we've seen them be a hit scan in the past. Is it the Cass? Is it the Ashe? Is it the Soj? Is it a Widow? Is it the Freya? I mean, you have options, or you could play a different type of poke with the Pharah.
And we'll have to see what happens, but we're ready to get into Circuit Royale, and at least what we're seeing on the defensive side, not anything shocking, quite honestly. I mean, Amity back on that Sigma, but Azer still in, and it's going to be over on the main. We've seen how much of a threat that May can be. It's honestly one of the biggest mainstays on this map, outside of Sigma, quite honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, again, the Juno for the first time tonight as well. I thought we would see a lot more Juno here, considering we've been seeing, realistically, Colombia playing a lot of Juno throughout this entire tournament. It's weird that this is the first time we're actually seeing it come out right now, but I do like this Orisa pick. They want to be able to take space. They want some affordability as well, but with Azer on this Mei, I think Super Gomez has got to play a lot safer as they're already tethered and already ice walled off.
Yep, it's going to be tough to break through this initial corner right now. Super Gomez is already pretty low and needs to play for a lot of that cover. And the person who has to break through this, honestly, it kind of has to be Kratos someone. Someone's going to peek too far and is going to get hit with one of those directs. That's what you need right now.
You need something here. You need anything. Kratos, if they can find those directs like you're talking about here, it opens up a lot of doors, but we've seen what Nanokado's been able to do on any hit scan. And you can kind of tell they're watching the roof, they're watching where Kratos' son is here. Amity has to be a big kind of component to this one. They almost have to be a little bit of a UAV. Let them know where they see Kratos' son so Nanokado can be able to kind of keep an eye on them.
Definitely so. But again, through one of the biggest stretches right out the rip. Decent progress despite how things have kind of looked in this first minute. But this is where the real challenge is now going to come underway, especially with Amity being able to hold this corner for a while over on the Sigma. Nearly gets new 7. Social going to be one to pull this one out, and it's looking like they're going to start wiping away Bobby Wasabi, the only one that's likely going to get out of here alive. They are chasing for a moment, but certainly they don't go this far. Right?
No, they go this far. They do go this far.
But they don't get?
But they're not going to be able to find them. Like, Bobby Wasabi somehow remembering the 5D to dodgeball right there, able to dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge away from everything that was being thrown at them, Hunter, to be able to stay alive. And you find that pick right there open huge. However, losing new 7 early on, you're going to immediately have to fall back. New 7, though, on that Hanzo. Thought we would see it here this map.
Thought so too, and to be fair, it had a really good display when we saw them playing that Circle Royale the other day in the playoffs, and now we're here, and Pycott, it needs to find something again too.
And just look at all the space that Team USA is taking right now at the spawn door. I mean, they are touching it, Hunter. We are seeing a spawn touch in Grand Finals. That just tells you how strong Team USA is playing.
Yeah, and Amity is still able to find one in here. Super Gomez, nothing you can do. It's not looking good right now as he almost gets Bobby Wasabi. He was able to get back in the spawn, but what do you even do at this point?
You just need to find a pick. Give yourself one thing. Give yourself one little momentum or swing of momentum going away. But Super Gomez out onto the Winston now, Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing everything you can. And to be fair, you get a couple of really good picks between both of your DPS. You see Kratos Sun eventually going to move in. And while you eventually have Nadokado still finding 2 picks, by the way, there's no way this is how this fight ends. Bomb is thrown in. That's a 3rd for Nadokado. That's insanity.
Nadokado, like, again, we've seen them on some teams and face it, and those teams, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember, but I remember them kind of struggling. Nadokado is really showing us a lot right now of how they're playing, just of them. But because of those kind of picks there, look, you're getting a little bit of a fallback here from Team USA because they have to. And this is the moment right now for Colombia. Yeah, you have some ultimates online. The Dragon's gonna be able to section off more members away. You're gonna be able to find Azer off it. Everything's going your way right now. Yeah, it took you 3.5 minutes, but you're getting something now.
Yeah, but you still need to keep finding something because now you're going to have a plus be thrown at your face. Azer is going to come down back over on the Symmetra now to give Amity some care on this corner. It's also going to make things more difficult for Super Gomez to get that investment right there. And you're going to look for this. You're going to pull in. You catch onto 1 in the corner. It's not the best case scenario, though. And Super Gomez going to go aggro. Needs to find something and needs to find it quickly as Nadokado is on the run. Will fall over, but the rest of the team is currently running rampant for their lives as somehow Fern ducks inside, is able to stay away as OT is here. Big jump and pick over onto Fern, but Super Gomez health, it's getting low. They'll be burnt down. Everyone is on the run to get back here as Amity needs some serious heals to keep hanging in here, and it's something they're going to get. And for Team USA, it's the full hold to set themselves up for potential victory.
And I mean, again, a spawn door touch here. Colombia, though, almost getting the first point was really nice for them, but just didn't happen. Good swaps coming out there from Team USA at the end. Azer going over to that sim, a big difference maker, being able to get some of the fallen members back into the fray there. But if you're Colombia, like, you're dejected. You have to be. You really have to be here. You got shut down so often there. Granted, Hunter, we have seen full holds be followed up by even fuller holds in the past. It's not completely done here for Colombia. They just need to find something here. The smallest little spark of momentum does so much for them. We've been talking about it all tournament long here. And all that Colombia needs to do, I think, Hunter, just win first fight. Doesn't matter if you lose 2, doesn't matter if you lose 3. Just win first fight and be able to kind of stabilize from there.
Yeah, it's what you're going to have to do, and we're already seeing some adjustments out the rip. We're getting a little classic right now. Super Gomez is coming back over on the Ryan. Kratos also on the Rat as well, which means they're attempting to play very close in that little room directly next to the point, and they're going to be playing to hold that for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. Even if you get team killed here, you're still going to have the opportunity to come back out and get another kind of play in on point. It's a really good idea by them here. But look at the other side. Amity on, I don't know if they're really going to stick with it. It would be fun to see. But Nadokado on this sim might be really interesting if that's no, it's not. I was going to say just TP strats. But the Domina Hunter is going to be real here.
Yep, it's going to be real indeed. And now Super Gomez, as Social is dead, that is something that has happened. Super Gomez is still just hanging around, but they now have an idea. They know, as not going to get a whole lot there, is going to push Amity back. But this is the all-or-nothing strategy that you have to make pay off. And Nadokado, really big pick over onto Mixfy, as you're going to get the res through as Social gets pinned. Unfortunately, not in time, and that res right there, that could be series-defining here in a second.
Yeah, if you can find Amity out here and just be able to stabilize with Super Gomez, it's going to be big right now for Colombia, but Super Gomez in a bad spot, and you're going to not even get Super Gomez out of here live, but New 7 finding a couple of huge picks right now, needs to fall back, regroup. This is the moment right now for Colombia. You have the chance to fully regroup as a team, and Mixfy also just needs to kind of run away. They're a little bit too far up. They will get noticed.
Yeah, they definitely will. Bit of an awkward.
They look at corners.
Oh, yeah, they don't. Yeah,
Mixfy sitting down. They're playing a different game right now, Hunter.
Yeah, a little different game. But to be fair, they didn't be playing this one because it is everything on the line right here, right now. You're about to have a dragon ready to go here momentarily if you are New 7. And I think it's going to need to find value pretty quickly as Nadokado almost loses their head. Dragon's still ready to go. Has it ready to go, is going to toss it in. And honestly, it's in a good spot. It's not really going to catch on to anybody, though.
No, but Super Gomez, you want to talk about being in a bad spot? Super Gomez was way too far up. That dragon, well, you normally look for it to split off. The other team, I think, realistically split off Super Gomez away from them.
Yeah, and Popcon, it may miss. It's not going to matter, though. New 7, the final to fall for Team Colombia. And Team USA, back-to-back years, is going to win the Copa America. They do it in 4-0 fashion. They make it look clean.
Make it look very clean. I mean, Colombia was looking better throughout this entire series. They got better in map 1, didn't win that one. Got better in map 2, didn't win it again. Map 3, though, was by far their closest. And then this one, it seemed like all the momentum and all like the back and forthness that we saw back on Kings Row all went away here as Team USA knew what they needed to do. Full held them there on that first point. Are the champions of the 2026 Copa America. And a clean sweep, like you said, Hunter. I mean, again, I think a lot of people probably coming into this tournament would put the U.S. as a favorite, and I mean them winning it, not the biggest surprise. Colombia getting this far is I think maybe a little bit of a surprise, even with the 2 World Cup members on this roster or on this team here. You still didn't see both of them very often. Yeah, we know we saw them both yesterday. But I still think you saw a lot of good showing here from some of these Team Colombia members, especially, like, again, I want to give a huge shout out to Kratos and New 7. And Mixfy, honestly, they impressed us a lot throughout this entire tournament because I believe we've seen them a little bit here and there, but man, do they look good here throughout the entirety of the Copa America.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of players that were just so standout. They looked incredible. I'm really happy with the performance we got out of a lot of these players here throughout the last few days. So, again, I hope they get to kind of take this experience as something really fun to do because obviously all of these Group of Century tournaments, they end up being a ton of fun. And I'm glad that we had some banger matches throughout the weekend and some really impressive results as well from some of these players. But I don't know, man. We talked about this could be a quick one. And for Team USA, they made it look quick. And it's crazy considering how Colombia was playing last night.
Yeah, and again, you go back to Kings Row, Colombia not necessarily touching the point right there to probably complete the map, realistically. I think comes back to bite them here hard. However, again, like you said, I think if you're Colombia, no reason to hang your heads here. You made it to the second play, you made it to the championship game. I think a lot of people coming into this one probably would just mark down USA and Canada in these grand finals. So Colombia making it here is a huge thing. And again, all the teams that really participated in this, it's great to see all the countries come here, all the players show up as well. I mean, we had a lot of deep rosters here, Hunter. So a lot of players got to show off their stuff here over these 2 weekends.
Yeah, a ton. It's been really exciting to see everything really boil down here like this. Now, I'm not sure when the next Copa Senior tournament is going to be. I don't think we have an official announcement of that yet, but hopefully something a little more down the line. But of course, we do have the top 16 happening over in Busan here in a little under 2 months from now. August 21st is the very first date going on over there, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. I know we're excited to witness that, and again, just keep supporting a lot of these players that are representing their countries on a pretty consistent basis now throughout the year. Yeah. Quite honestly, I think almost nearly a majority of what I've done has been stuff like this, and it's been extremely entertaining. And I don't think it's gonna be the end of it. I think there is a lot of passion. Oh no, go ahead. I think you're gonna say exactly what I'm gonna say, actually.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more action. And, I mean, this was the America version of it. I believe Copa Euro, I believe that's what they call it, is going to happen at some point as well here a little bit down the line. And, I mean, I think I even saw logos in there for Asia as well. That would be incredible to see. And I think these tournaments are great because while a lot of the teams here aren't teams that made it on to the next round of World Cup, and a lot of these players here aren't teams that were a part of that World Cup stuff, especially the online qualifiers there. You're still seeing a lot of those teams that were there for the Conference Cups coming here. I mean, Costa Rica, that was the majority of that team that played in Conference Cups here. You're seeing a lot of other teams get their World Cup teams a lot of good practice throughout this one here. And I think that's a great thing. We want to see these teams get better. And I think the more of these we do, and especially the more little events like this we do, the players will get better, the teams will get better, and the competition will only get better.
Yeah, no, 100%. We've already had so many great tournaments over the course of the last few weeks. I mean, we had the Panamericana happen. Gold Cup ended 2 weekends ago, and we just finished things up here with the Copa America as well. So we'll have to see what comes more down the line as, again, it's a little bit of a wait-and-see situation right now. I think things are going to be a little chill for a couple of weeks here as there is some big stuff coming up, and we have to worry about EWC coming up next month. We've got everything going on with all the other leagues that have gotten started here, the grassroots as well. It's a lot that's going to be going on still. I'm happy it's going to be a very active rest of this year, and when the World Cup comes around to Busan, you know I'll be waking up at 3 in the morning to co-stream it, so that'll be a whole lot of fun. But with that being the case, it's been a pleasure to have y'all here throughout the entirety of this weekend, whether it's been us or the other amazing people that we've had also co-streaming this as well. I mean, Saminami, Mega Ninja, Hyper, you've got Joker, you've got Mataneva. I think I'm missing a single name in there, Dex. And please correct me if I'm missing a name, because I don't.
I'm quickly trying to find the tweet.
Yeah, because I don't think I am, but there is this thing called Liquipedia, which will help me out, because I might be forgetting a name. It might just be me not saying your name, honestly, because I think I got everybody. I think it's just you.
Yeah, it might just be me. It might just be me.
It is you. And of course, X.
Yeah, it's Saminami, Mega Ninja, Hyper, Mott, you, Avalanche.
Avalanche, yes.
And Grupo Senju, who had their own had their own batch of casters down there. It's really fun to see all these people come out here and show off all these players again, because while we're getting good viewership on this, everyone else is getting good viewership on it as well, and showing off a lot of new faces to a lot of new people, and that is what we really want to see.
That's what we want to see more than anything, honestly, and I hope we get to keep seeing it coming up here throughout the rest of the year. But everybody, again, we appreciate y'all joining us. Next time you see us, it'll be probably, there's a good chance it's Tuesday, but it might be Wednesday for the Face It Frenzy we have coming up. This will be our 4th time doing it total, 4th or 5th. We'll see. We'll talk about it more. Obviously, look on socials, and we'll have something posted here pretty soon. But everybody, have yourselves a good night. We'll see you next time for some more Overwatch action. Take care, everybody.
All right, welcome everyone to the first episode of One More Round, the show where I ask people if they want to play one round of Overwatch. Well, I ask them a round of questions. My first guest is J-Man, DPS player from Grimoire. J-Man, thank you so much for joining me, man. This is, honestly, I'm going to say this. You have been one of my favorite players to watch ever since I started covering Face It.
Wow.
I'm so happy you are my first person to really do this.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really glad to be here.
Yeah. It is really fun to have you here, but like, I just want to generally talk about Overwatch here a little bit right now, and to get a lay of the land here with how long you've been playing it. Like, when did you get into Overwatch here? Like, was it launch? Was it GOATS era? Was it pandemic era, 2020, which I guess is GOATS era, or was it sometime after that?
Well, I actually have been playing. I played Overwatch since launch. I remember I played it on my Xbox. I played the beta actually, and I was like, wow, this game looks like it's gonna be pretty chill. So I remember ever since launch, I've been playing it on console, and then I think it was 2020, like right before COVID. I actually ended up getting my first PC, and that's when I started playing it on PC.
Nice. So,
and then at least for competitive-wise, I didn't really play until I started college.
Nice. Nice. I mean, hey, I'm kind of with you right there. Started with the beta and kind of just casually played it for a very long time. Never got good like you did. But like when you started taking that first competitive step with Overwatch, like when, like you said, it was around college, but what was like that first thing to let you know, like, oh, I can actually, be really good at this game?
Well, I guess for like, it's a little bit more in depth than that. To start my like playing career, my high school, I was actually fortunate enough to where my high school had a esports team, so that was pretty chill. So the league we were in, like everyone was pretty bad, so it's not like it was really that competitive, but we were able to win it because we had a few like GM players, so it was like we were just gonna win by default. But after that, I went to ASU because that was just my state school, and then I realized that they had an esports team, so I just ended up like, yeah, why not? I did it at my high school, why not do it in college? And then, I don't know if you followed collegiate at all, but I was able to get 4 other teammates that had actually played the game competitively before. Like, I think the biggest names would have been Angelic and Anhu. But we started a team with them, and I was like, wow, okay, these guys actually have hands. I can't be the only player that sucks on this team. So then I started to grind a lot, and then at this time, Anhu was on Shigami. And then, this is kind of how I started. Anhu was like, you should start playing in like open division and stuff like that so you can get better. So Anhu told Aeroplane to get me on their like Shiki Acad team, which is Midori. So that's where I just started playing. And then ever since then, I've just loved it. Just enjoyed it competing.
Nice. What's honestly been like your favorite, since you started competing, what was your favorite kind of competition or favorite era of this?
Right now it's pretty chill because I think this is the best I've ever been. But I gotta say my favorite was honestly near the beginning. There was one tournament, it was like our first collegiate tournament, where we had been beating all the low-end teams, and then the first really good team that we ever played was against UTD. It was like a Ram Cass May or Hanzo May era. But the first like really good team we played was UTD, and we lost to them. And we're like, man, wait, we can actually